Hello everyone, welcome to the tutorial series of Python language quantitative trading practice. We have learned about markers in the previous lesson, and today we will continue to learn the variable declaration. Marker is used as the name of a variable. That is, a variable is a marker that holds a value. So, how do we declare a variable? What are the rules for declaring variables? Let's learn them together in this lesson. Variable declarations are divided into three main parts. Declaration mode. Variable type. And marker. Let's take an example of declaring a data variable of type int with the name initialized only on the first keyline bar. We write var int a here. Here var corresponds to the declaration mode, int corresponds to the variable type, and a corresponds to the marker. The var and var IP keywords have been studied in our previous chapter on assignment operators, so we won't repeat them here. Besides, var int, we declare a variable var IP int b. And int c here. Of course, we can assign to them. We assign it equals to 0, equals to 1, and it equals to 2 here. If the declaration mode of a variable is written without anything, as we have actually talked about before, such a variable declared and assigned will be initialized on every keyline bar. The Python language on FMZ is not very strict with type requirements, and it can generally be omitted. For example, we can write a equals to 1, var b equals to 2. Directly. However, in order to be compatible with the scripting strategy on TradingView, variables can also be declared with types. For example, we send a non-value to a variable. Baseline 0 equals to NA. That is, we declare the variable in the same mode as the initialization of each keyline bar. If we run this Python script directly on TradingView, this line will report an error, but it will not report an error on FMZ. Markers are variable names. The naming of markers have been mentioned in the previous video, so you can go back and watch the previous video. When declaring a variable, the type, marker, and also the assignment are written, which is the complete assignment operation. The assignment operator is used here. The equal assigns a value to a variable when it is declared. Such as var a equals to 1. When assigning, the value can be a string, number, expression, function call, if, for, while, or switch, and other structures. These structural keywords and statement usage will be explained in details in the follow-up courses. We can also use input function to assign variable a here. That is var a equals to input. Here we focus on the input function. To assign a variable, here we focus on the input function. It is mainly used to initialize variables in the form of strategy parameters. The input function is different on TradingView and FMZ. Strategy parameters are resolved automatically on FMZ. Let us use an example to explain it in details. For example, there is a parameter 1 in the strategy. I want to give the strategy the flexibility to change parameter values in the strategy screen during real-world trading or backtesting, rather than editing them frequently in the code page. We can use input function to assign a value to parameter 1. Set the default value to 10 here. Name the parameter 1. Name of parameter 1. And use the tooltip function to write the description information of parameter 1. Tooltip equals to, when we put our mouse on the tooltip function, it can prompt some text information. And we write the description for parameter 1 here. The next parameter is group, which is used to group the parameters on the strategy screen. We enter the group name A here. In this way, we declare parameter A. We declare a parameter. Let's go back to the backtest page. We can see that the name of parameter 1 is shown here. And the default value is 10. When I put mouth on this parameter, however, it will appear a prompt message description for parameter 1. That is the value of the tooltip parameter we passed in. And we can modify the strategy parameters here directly without going back to the code page. Similarly, we can write more groups of parameters. Here we write parameter 2. This parameter can also be a string, so we write close here. Don't forget to quote it. Close, it's a string. Name it as the name of parameter 2. We can copy from the last line and change the name it as parameter 2 here. And the tooltip also parameter 2. The group we written as group name A, the same as above. And then we continue to write parameter 3. Here we set it as the color value, red. And name it as the name of parameter 3. Change it to parameter 3. And the group name, here we use group name B. Let's go ahead and write parameter 4 again. Where we pass in the built-in variable, here we write close directly. And the title, we name it as parameter 4 here. Change it. The group, we name it as B here. Finally, we write parameter 5. Where we pass in the Boolean value true, name it as the name of parameter 5. Parameter 5 here. And we write the group name C here, a new group. We can use these parameters as settings for drawing charts or indicator calculations. For example, we use the GMA function to calculate the average data. For average data source, we can use as closing price, opening price, highest price, lowest price, etc. Here we use the variable parameter 4 as its parameter. And let the period parameter can be adjusted. Here we write parameter 1. Then we use the plot function to draw the average indicator. We write MA and name it as parameter 2. That is, the name of this line is the value, the name of this line is the value of this variable. And then we set the color as parameter 3. Oh, don't forget its title here. And the color here. And finally we set whether to draw it on the main chart. We use parameter 5 here. Here on the backtest page, we can see that the groups we set have been displayed. There are parameters that control the time period, parameters that control the calculation period, and the color names. And parameter 4 here is close. And we can see high, low, open, and so on in the column. Parameter 5 here, if we choose it, it will be drawn on the main chart here. And we modify all these parameters to see if there is an effect. Parameter 1 here we change to 20. And parameter 2 we change it to test. And here green. Then we click backtest. And we can see it draws on the subchart. This shows us that all these parameters play a certain control role, and we can do it without making changes in the code page. The above is the application of the input function. Input is a series of functions. It includes input int, input float. The 4 main parameters of the input functions are default value, title, tooltip, and group. As the default value of the strategy parameter option set by the input function, the default value supports built-in variables, values, and strings of the Pine language. Title is the parameter name of the strategy displayed on the strategy interface of the real bot or backtest. Tooltip is the prompt information of the strategy parameter. When the mouse hovers hovers over the strategy parameter, the text information of the parameter setting will be displayed. Group is the name of the strategy parameter group, which can be used to strategy parameters. On FMZ, the requirements for type are not very strict. It can also be compatible with the strategy code of TradingView. We can use input as type auto identification directly. When we name variables, we can name a group of variables at a time, in addition to naming one variable at a time individually. Naming a group of variables is usually applied to calculate some indicators such as MACD. Since the MACD indicator is a multi-line indicator, 3 sets of data are calculated. We use the multivariate name. Here, the brackets. Variable A, variable B, and a variable C. Equals to function. Here we use the brackets to assign values to the 3 variables at the same time, and the right side of the equal sign can also write structures such as if, for, while, or switch besides functions. Here we take TAMACD function for example. We use the brackets to assign values to 3 variables. Div, DA, and column equals to TAMACD. And we pass in close as the calculation data source. Here, close. Usually, the default indicator parameters of MACD are 12, 26, and 9. We use the plot function to print out these 3 contents. First, we print div. And we name it as div. Then we plot DEA, name it as DEA. Finally, column. Name it as column. And we set the style as plot style histogram. Then we click backtest. And we can see that MACD has been drawn out on the subchart easily. We can draw the MACD chart by using the above code easily. Not only the built-in functions can return to multiple variables, but also the written custom functions can return to multiple data. We use toEMA function. It has 3 parameters: data, fast period, slow period. Data, fast period, slow period. Then we write the function body. Oh, don't forget equal or more than here. Then we write the function body and declare 2 variables in the function body local code block. The first one is fast. We use the taEMA function to do the arithmetic. We use data here as the data source and fast period for the period. And the second one is slow, just the same as the above. taEMA function. Data, slow period. Then we return to fast and slow, use the brackets. In the global scope, we need to receive these 2 data. We use EMA10 and EMA20. Brackets. In variables, we call the custom function toEMA, passing close as the data source. And we write 10 and 20 here. Let the result of this function return to these 2 variables, EMA10 and EMA20. We use the plot function to draw them out respectively. EMA10, name it as EMA10. Let it draw on the main chart. And the same as EMA20. We can copy and paste it. Change it to EMA20. Let it draw on the main chart too. Then we click Backtest. Oh, you can see that there is no lines drawn out. Let's go back to the code page to check it. We spell the close wrong just now and we change it to the correct one. CLOSE, and then we click Backtest again here. We can see the lines of EMA 10 and EMA 20 are drawn out on the chart. And both of them were drawn on the main chart here. In addition, the writing method of using if and other structures as a multiple variable assignment is also similar to the above custom function. We can do some modifications on the code directly. We write a local block with if to assign a value to it. Brackets EMA 10 EMA 20. Here we use a local block with if to assign a value to it. Of course, the if here must be constant to true. Then we write fast. We use the TAEMA function and directly write close 10. Slow, we change it to close. Here is 20. And finally, fast and slow. Then we click Backtest. Oh, it reports an error here. Let's go back to check it. Line 15. Here. We should delete this line. Just use the plot function to draw them out. Then we click Backtest again. We can see on the chart, it is the same as before. So that's all for today's lesson. If you think our video tutorials are useful, don't forget to like, follow, and repost. Thank you all and see you next time.